Every spring I usually take a trip to the mountains. This year I went to the Blue Ridge Parkway. Since the weather was looking pretty good the next couple of days, I decided to swing by in town and snag a roll of Kodacolor 100. This is my first time shooting on this stock. I've shot on the 200 back in Chicago a couple months ago, and I was a pretty big fan. Right away I snapped some shots at the Airbnb I was staying at, and they came out pretty solid. I decided to head over to West Asheville and toss a GoPro on. This first spot was a tattoo parlor that had a postcard graffiti style mural on the side building. The colors really popped on this one. Right behind the parlor there's a neighborhood where the morning light hit perfectly. With the new spring foliage you get a nice mixture of shadows and highlights. Here's a couple shots I snapped throughout West Asheville along the way, right before the next destination. The next stop was over in Pisgah National Forest. If you know the spot, you know it's not a hard hike at all. All these shots I did with a tripod. Funny thing about this, I forgot my tripod this trip, so I had to stop at Best Buy and pick up a new one. It was $170. I was not expecting that. Great news, I returned it when I got back home though. I find using a tripod for all these shots really helps, especially with the overhead foliage. It creates a lot of shadows, and honestly, the lighting isn't the greatest sometimes. Especially at 100 speed, I was a little hesitant. Currently, I am shooting a Fuji 50, so this isn't entirely accurate, but at the time of filming this, the 100 was the first time I shot a speed this low. I noticed how the smooth grain really enriches all these photos so far. I don't know about you guys, but if the lighting's great and there's a basketball hoop nearby, I'm gonna pull in. I've always seen this spot driving at Catawba Falls. Every time I drive by, it's always too cloudy, so I've never actually stopped here. It kind of has that old school rustic look. It's not really maintained well, so it fits the whole film vibe. What's really cool here is that you get all the pockets of light. I'm really obsessed with all the little small highlights and shadows that you get from this. I found with film photography, you really gotta play with different angles. You're not gonna ever find the right shot right away half the time. Especially with 36 exposures, you tend to be more careful. So I feel like half the time I kinda look insane just sidestepping back and forth. I mean, I can't be the only one though, right? Right after this, I did go down the road to the falls. However, it was packed with people, so I didn't really take any photos, unfortunately. I decided to go back home, let my dog out, grab some food, and then head back to the Parkway. I figured why not catch sunset one last time. I found this pull off in the Parkway and decided to do a couple long exposure shots. We're in Blue Hour right now, and the moon looks pretty cool. I used the app LightMe to perfectly expose the shot. However, I didn't focus properly on it, and it's kind of out of focus. With that being said, I feel like the Kodacolor 100 performs well during the daylight. At nighttime, it does really good. However, I'm not quite a fan of long exposure with it. I would definitely lean more towards maybe a 400 to 800 speed film. Would I use this film again? 100%, especially with summer coming up and a lot of sunshine. So with that being said, keep your eyes peeled for the next video.